Did you know the human desire for purpose is a fundamental need, just like food and shelter? We all crave a sense of meaning in life, something that drives us forward and gives our existence weight. So, in our today's video, inspired by Jordan Peterson's wisdom, we'll uncover how you can lead you to a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Let's get into it.
What you most want to find will be found where you least want to look.
The first key area Peterson emphasizes for finding true purpose is confronting the chaos and fears within your own mind. We all have an underlying primal anxiety about the unknown and unexpected aspects of life. It's that unsettling feeling of dread towards anything that could disrupt the safe, predictable routines we try to construct.
If what you're doing isn't working, it's where you haven't gone that you need to go.
This fear of the unexplored territory within ourselves manifests in all sorts of ways. General anxiety, procrastination, avoidance of challenges. We tell ourselves stories, make excuses, and engage in displaced activities like excessive consumption of entertainment. Anything to numb or distract ourselves from feeling that fundamental sense of metaphysical insecurity. But Peterson teaches that this is a dead-end road. To find real meaning, you must walk directly into those dark, foreboding corridors of your psyche that you've been trying to avoid. Shine a light on the specific thoughts, situations, and responsibilities that make you uncomfortable and trigger your fear reflexes.
Dragon is this terrible thing. It's this terrible predatory thing that lives forever and is very, very wise. And it lives underground, and it'll kill you. It'll burn you up in a second. But it hoards gold. And so you have to go there into the dragon's lair if you're going to get the gold. And that's a representation of people's paradoxical relationship with reality.
What are you running away from or putting off? What obstacles or difficulties have you been dodging and rationalizing excuses about? Those are the very things you need to turn and face head-on with courage. Only through exploring and overcoming those pockets of inner chaos can you integrate your whole self into a unified realm of consciousness and being. It may feel terrifying to make yourself confront your demons, but that's the price of admission for the journey towards purpose. Moving forward, let's explore another crucial element, embracing the burden of responsibility. Now, I know what you're thinking. Burden, responsibility. That doesn't exactly sound like a party, but stick with me here.
It's partly responsibility. I don't think that people have talked to young people about responsibility in any real sense. And being on their side at the same time for like 50 years. And that's just too long because most people find the meaning in their life through responsibility. Well, maybe you're leaving out the meaning of life. That's what it looks like to me. It's like, here you are, suffering away. What makes it worthwhile? Right? You know, you're completely out. You have no idea what it's almost impossible to describe how bad an idea that is. Responsibility. That's what gives life meaning. It's like lift a load. Then you can tolerate yourself, right? Because look you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect?
The sobering truth is that life is filled with tragedy, injustice, malevolent forces beyond our control. We can't stick our heads in the sand about that. Peterson argues that rather than crumbling under the weight of that dire reality, true meaning comes from squarely facing it and vowing to make things better through our efforts. As he states,
You and I, we've had a lot of good fortune in our lives. We've been born to, reasonably affluent, peaceful countries. I have a job that I have worked hard at, but I've had lots of luck. You have written a book and done a series of lectures that have become embraced around the world. Some people don't get lucky breaks.
That's for sure. Some people just die, and horribly. Yeah, life's rough, no doubt about it.
Here's the thing, to society itself, and the path to paying that debt with significance, it comes through work, sacrifice, constantly striving. True meaning has to be earned through diligence.
Well, I think the deck is stacked against everyone to some degree because life is very difficult and we all die. But some people do have it harder than others. And all of us have it very hard at some times in our lives. It's like, well, what's the alternative? You take responsibility for that and try to struggle uphill, because the alternative makes everything worse.
But not just any old responsibilities will fill that void of purpose. Peterson says the most transcendent meaning arises from willingly taking on roles and causes that are constructive for society. Having a family to nurture, building an enterprise that creates value, fighting for an uplifting mission beyond yourself. A good example shared by Jordan Peterson involving Simpson.
That actually is a recurring theme in The Simpsons, where Homer loses his job or something like that, or can't make enough money. He's completely crushed, even though he's kind of useless, bumbling, laughing fool of a guy. You know, the thing that gives that show its soul is that he's still oriented towards his family. That's what makes him honorable, is that foolish as he is, he's decided to adopt responsibility for his family and to try to bear that.
These aren't burdens we begrudgingly accept. They're sacred callings we joyfully shoulder.
Look at, you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect? That's the story of the fall. Pick something up and carry it. Make it heavy enough so that you can think, yeah, well, useless as I am, at least I could move that from there to there.
In the same light, Jordan advises that in order to find true fulfillment, you need to commit yourself to something bigger than yourself. This could be a cause, a religion, or a family. Having something to dedicate yourself to will give your life meaning.
You destroy the idea of aspiration, and then people have nothing. Well, that's not helpful. People are built for a struggle, and they're built for a weight, and you want to take on a heavy burden voluntarily. See if you can put yourself together. See what you can do out in the world while you're waiting to die. It's an all-in game. It better be worthwhile.
Another absolutely critical aspect for finding true purpose and meaning, discovering and living by your authentic values. We all have an inherent moral foundation, a value structure that's been shaped by our biology, culture, experiences in life. And here's the harsh truth. If you try to ignore or override those deeply rooted values, you're headed for misery and emptiness.
If you gave 1,000 people a list of adjectives to describe themselves with, and one of the adjectives was happy, and another of the adjectives was social, you'd find that those who rated themselves high on happy would also rate themselves high on social, and those who rated themselves low on happy would also rate themselves low on social. And by looking at those patterns of covariation, you can determine what the essential dimensions are of human personality.
So it's paramount that you take the time to systematically explore and identify what you truly believe is important, ethical, and meaningful. What ideas, principles, and pursuits light an inspirational fire within you.
One of the things that I would recommend that you do as students in this course, and maybe in every course, speaking of industriousness, is come up with a plan of attack for the course and use a scheduler. You know, if you treat your university career like a full-time job, you're much more likely to succeed.
Once you've done that hard work of self-discovery, you can then start proactively molding your life to uphold those core values. The career path you choose, the relationships you build, the activities you immerse yourself in. Align them with the beliefs that resonate most deeply. It sounds simple, but how many of us have ended up on autopilot, drifting away from the very ideals that make us come alive? Don't let that happen to you. Periodically revisit and realign your life with your authentic value system. Only once you've built your day-to-day reality around protecting and serving what you hold most sacred, can you expect to feel a profound and lasting sense of purpose. It may require some difficult trimming along the way, but living with uncompromising integrity to your values is truly liberating. The final key to unlocking a profound sense of purpose and meaning. Setting lofty, ambitious goals that will push you to continually grow and demand more of yourself. Listen, merely pursuing happiness and comfort is not enough to satisfy the nobler instincts of the human mind and spirit. We need an overarching vision, a guiding mission to pour our efforts into striving towards.
Well, that requires careful meditation and prayer. You know, if you wanted to be traditional about it, I would say you have to determine, this is a process of soul searching. What are you oriented towards? And the answer could easily be nothing. Well, this is why I produced the Future Authoring Program.
So it's time to start thinking big. Like, really big. Set ambitious, long-term aims that will require you to constantly level up and become better versions of yourself. Seek out worthy challenges that force you to expand your capabilities. Maybe your monumental focus is achieving a type of spiritual enlightenment or philosophical breakthrough. Maybe it's pioneering an important innovation that improves many lives. Or perhaps you aim to create a multi-generational work of art, enterprise, or activism that spans decades.
You got to be oriented towards something, because otherwise you're disoriented. You just spin around in circles and then you suffer. And so do people around you. It's not a good solution.
Whatever your mountain to climb happens to be, lock onto that aim with intense intention. Let it captivate your imagination and drive your decision-making at every turn. After all, having that North Star to orient your energy towards is ultimately what will make you feel like you're living a life of undeniable purpose. There you have it. If you want to keep leveling up, hit subscribe and join me as we explore more ideas that'll upgrade your existence. Thanks for watching.